The very last thing we're going to be covering today from Hasbro PulseCon 2021 is that of the Hall of Fame and all the stuff that was covered with it, along with the heavy video game presence that was at this event. Now, granted, none of it is console gaming. Don't get too excited about all the stuff that we've talked about in the past. This is solely more mainstream, mobile, kind of bite-sized kind of stuff, but we'll still cover it quickly and just give our 2 cents on it. We'll start with the video game stuff because it's kind of quick. They talk about Transformers The Experience, which is their new immersive ride and stuff that they've been talking about with Universal Studios, and now they want to do it as a touring attraction. It's going to be going across the United States. They kind of already started doing it overseas in beta testing in a lot of ways. So now it's going to be showing up probably in your local malls or something like that. So keep an eye out for that. They're also going to be doing a Transformers VR experience, which is also, it is what it is. These are all things that unfortunately, and I've seen this in the past, not only with Transformers, but other brands like Marvel and Star Wars, they come out, they're a thing, and then they're gone forever. And then a lot of people never speak of them ever again. There's usually no kind of home version of them in a lot of ways, or they're not fondly remembered, or there's no way to maintain them because either they're touring events or they're stuff that are on servers that get closed one day and there's no evidence of their existence. So there's that. Then they talked about some of the mobile stuff. So they're going to be doing yet again another licensing crossover with another pre-existing gacha mobile game. In this case, they're going to be doing something with Smite, Battle of Gods. Man, that sticks out like a sore thumb, but sure, okay, Optimus, Starscream, and Megatron, unlockable skins in the Smite's Battle of the Gods game. Sure, whatever. Another thing that's like, War of Warships and all the other stuff that they're doing. It's just mobile companies licensing out the IP to Hasbro to be able to get some eyeballs on their product. The other mobile game thing that they mentioned, they talked about how, and this one's slightly intriguing only because it just throws back to something that's more obscure. While all the other stuff we talked about is your typical G1 evergreen fare, Transformers Earth Wars. They're going to be having some more Beast Wars stuff added to it to kind of celebrate the Rise of the Beast coming up. And they went with the deep cuts. They didn't go with the obvious, the rat traps, the Cheetors, or anything like that. They're going to have 2 new combiners that are going to be added, and it's going to be that of Magnaboss and Tripredacus. So you'll be able to collect the individual members, get them to combine together, and use them on your team. Nice little deep cut. They even showed the animation of them combining. I dig that a lot. I don't really play Earth Wars that much anymore. It kind of like has ran its course after playing it for, what feels like 3 years now. But it was fun while it lasted, and I'm glad that they still do updates and stuff for people that are still interested. There's only so much you could really take out of a game like that, especially from a mobile nature, and not putting tons of money into it in a lot of ways. The last video game related thing is Vince DiColo was a guest, and he also had with him his buddy Kenny and Bob, who were guys that worked on soundtracks in the past with him, including the live performance at BotCon, which was amazing when they did that in 2016. And it was just pretty much Vince saying, hey, the Transformers Devastation soundtrack that you guys like, it will be available online for streaming, so you'll be able to get that. So that's pretty cool. Devastation had a really good soundtrack. Very, very similar to the Transformers Angry Birds soundtrack. So if you loved the Transformers Angry Birds video game soundtrack, which was incredible, I love that soundtrack, you'll love the Devastation stuff too, and vice versa. If you're someone who loved Devastation, you never listened to the Angry Birds Transformers music, trust me, don't let the Angry Birds IP fool you. The music was amazing. Like very G186 movie brought to the modern era. Great stuff. That's some really good news. And Vince is a super talented, friendly guy. So all the best to him. And then they quickly talked about how, Rise of the Beasts is coming. The June 24th, 2022 date is going to stick. There's not going to be a pushback like the original rumors of it being in December. And they kind of confirmed stuff that we already kind of talked about, where Cheetor is going to be in the movie. So that's about it. They had Anthony Ramos make a quick pop-in pre-recorded segment and say, hey, Cheetor's in the movie, get hyped. I'm excited. Now let's go into the Hall of Fame. They did the Hall of Fame inductees. So first of all, they had the #1 War for Cybertron Kingdom toy. And what was that number one War for Cybertron Kingdom toy voted by the fans? Oh my goodness. What a weird choice. The winner was, and they even said by quite a large margin, Tigatron. Now, what's crazy about this is that outside of some people who stole stuff from factories, no one has ever touched this toy. So the fact that it won number one, even though no one has even messed with it yet, is mind-boggling. I am quite surprised that this figure won. I don't know. I get a feeling maybe not a lot of people voted, and the people who did voted, just based it on an assumption on two molds that we haven't even gotten a hold of yet. Both the orange repaint that we're going to be getting through Amazon, the Mutant Tigatron as they call it, and the actual retail release version. The Beast Wars Season 1 character that won, they kind of made logic of this because they said that they didn't include, like they obviously discounted other Season 1 characters that have already put into the Hall of Fame, like Black Arachnia, Dinobot, Cheetor, Optimus Primal, etc. So the person who won this time around, as a result, kind of cutting it down, was Inferno. Some people say it was rigged because Inferno won, and then we're going to be getting an Inferno figure in Legacy that we know of. So some people, because I said that whoever wins this is going to influence what's going to be a release later on, much like how Knockout from Transformers Prime won last year, and now he has two products coming out this year. But hey, in Beast Wars Inferno 1, sure, why not? And, it is what it is. It is what it is. He's going to get a brand new toy, and that is that. The Hall of Fame human inductees, there was going to be two this year. One was a voice actor, and one is an artist. Usually artists don't get inducted, but it's nice to see that they actually get recognition, and it's one that's very talented at that. For the human voice actor that was inducted, it was John Machida. So good old Blur, G1 Blur, got inducted. We should have saw it coming because he opened up the whole Transformers segment with him reading off the history of the War for Cybertron Netflix series. So it should have been the writing on the wall that he was going to be inducted. But hey, G1 Blur. I'm surprised they didn't mention his connection to Micro Machines, considering Hasbro owns that IP. So interesting that they didn't, mention that he was also part of the Micro Machine Man and the commercials and everything. They mentioned commercials. They just didn't say, hey, the Micro Machine Man. Get all these little Micro Machine. I love that. And the artist that won, and rightfully so, I think he's a fantastic artist, Guido Guidi. This dude did a lot of Transformer stuff throughout the years, and some of my favorite runs of the modern era of Transformer books came from Guido. I absolutely loved the Minicon Moonbase arc of the Dreamwave Armada comics that Guido was behind, and I absolutely loved the Transformers Regeneration entire comic book series that Guido did the art for. So just those two alone are, top tier books for me. Like if you ask me some of my favorite Transformer stories, that's in like my top 5, top 10 easily, and they're Guido books. And then you combine the fact that he did tons of, if you're not a comic book reader, if somehow and he has a huge list of comic book stuff that he's done with Transformers. If somehow the comic book stuff does not interest you, there's tons of package stuff, like packaging art that he did during that Dreamwave era. A whole bunch of minicons. The, Optimus Prime from Armada, his box art is Guido. The Energon stuff, whether it be Bruticus Maximus or the Terrorcons or Prowl or Rodimus, that's all Guido. So really good stuff. And then it's something, if you ever do see him at a con, if he ever comes down to TFCon or a BotCon in the future, those are some, trading cards you could get signed by him, because both Armada had the sticker trading card and Energon had the actual trading card. You could kind of get those signed by him because he had something to do with those. So Guido, much deserved, really talented dude, very friendly dude. Awesome stuff that he got inducted. Really cool stuff. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the Transformers Hasbro Pulse 2021 segments. They said that there will be other stuff coming in the future. There'll be future Fan First Fridays or Transformer Tuesdays or Transformer Thursdays or Megatron Mondays or Cybertron Saturdays, or I don't know. I can't think of another one right now. Wing Thing Wednesdays. Either way, there's going to be something coming. They'll announce it and we'll probably find out more about it. Tomorrow is the Transformer Slag podcast live stream. Be sure to tune in 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Pacific. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff. It's going to be a crazy weekend, and I hope you'll be there. It's been cool. I'll see you then.